Good morning, Internet. The journey continues, and this morning I'm in Kandy, one of the larger cities in Sri Lanka, right in the center of the country. If you look on a map of Sri Lanka, you'll see that Kandy is right smack in the middle. And I arrived here yesterday on train 1006, sometimes referred to as the blue train or one of the blue trains. I'm going to be here for about, I think, 5 or 6 days. I lose track of my schedule a lot. It's Wednesday morning now, and I leave here on Sunday, heading back to Colombo. Today I'm off for a walk. There's a big lake right in the middle of town, and there's a few tourist spots or sightseeing spots near there, and that's where I'm heading this morning. It's a mere 26 degrees. And when I stepped out of the hotel about a half an hour ago, humidity was very low. But as I noted in another video, humidity has arrived. I think it came on that bus that we just walked past. So my hopes for a comfortable day are diminishing. Good morning. No, thanks. There are many tuk-tuks available for hire here. What I'm going to do is head towards the lake. I think this is a shortcut, but we'll see soon enough. Morning. Well, I'm just wandering. I am by the lake, and I'm at some installation or some kind of an attraction where you need a ticket. But none of the signs, I can't read any of the signs. They're in Sinhalese. But I'll show you the lake in a second. At some point, maybe not today, I want to be on the other side of that pathway right behind me. There is a way to get to the city center walking in the direction I'm going now, but it's a little bit longer. And my taxi driver last night told me that there is a shortcut through, I think, what he called the Temple of the Tooth. Now, I've done a lot of reading in past years about various parts of Asia, and Temple of the Tooth came up a lot. But I never really understood where it was. Apparently, it's right across the lake there. And supposedly the Temple of the Tooth has a piece, an actual piece of the Buddha's tooth. I'll probably go there someday before I leave here also. But right now I'm going to try to get to the city center, which means walking around the lake. Well, I learned something yesterday about rail travel here in Sri Lanka. When I left Ella, that's the last city I was staying in, I took the train 1006 from Bedula to Colombo Fort. Now, Bedula is about 30 kilometers from Ella. In fact, the train starts there and then arrives in Ella and then continues on. We were about 2 hours late getting here to Kandy yesterday, but to emphasize how late the train actually was, it left Bedula, I don't know when, but it arrived in Ella 50 minutes late. So that's only 2 stops from where it started. It was already 50 minutes late. So I'm not really sure what time it actually finished in Colombo. So my advice, and I figured this out when I was making reservations last night, if you have a choice of where your train starts when you're making reservations, pick the one that starts where you are. Like in some of the smaller towns, of course, you won't have a choice. You just have to get on the train that passes by. But like from here, I can choose a train that actually starts its journey to Colombo, or I can pick a train that started its journey in Bedula, and eventually I wait for it until it gets here to Kandy before continuing on to Colombo. That train is much more likely to be late. The one that leaves from Kandy probably will leave either on time or close to it, And then on the downside of that, of course, it might be canceled. But to reiterate, if you have a choice, pick the train that starts in the town where you are, if possible. This is a really nice walk. It's still 26 degrees and there's a nice breeze off the lake, so even if the humidity is creeping up, the sweat towel has been unused so far. The walk is shady. The traffic's not that loud yet, although maybe I'm getting used to it by now. I'm not sure about that. I think I'm gonna cut across this little walkway and cut off this little sort of loop at the end of the lake. I pass a lot of little kids walking along with their parents or older brothers and sisters, and they all smile and say hi. And I usually smile and wave back. And then I realize they probably want me to say something so they can practice their English or something like that. So I've learned my lesson. Don't wave and smile, say hello. Well, I just had a very, very interesting conversation with not one, but 5 tuk-tuk drivers, all at the same time. And I was promised that for a mere 3,000 rupees, they would show me everything there is to see in Kandy. I would have lunch with the governor and get the key to the city, all for 3,000 rupees. So I'm going to try to set that up. I want to see what the governor has for lunch, and that's for tomorrow, maybe. Maybe. This road that I'm on faithfully follows the shoreline of the lake, so that's why it weaves and all that stuff. But there's no denying that it was designed to be photogenic, let's put it that way. I think I just discovered a unique candying pretext for striking up a conversation to see if I need a tuk-tuk ride. And that is to point out giant fish in the lake. Now, I talked to 3 tuk-tuk drivers so far that started their contact by pointing to giant fish right by the shoreline. I couldn't see any of them, but according to the drivers, they were there. But anyway, that leads to, where are you from? Where are you going? Could I give you a ride to the botanical gardens or the bird park? It seems like every city I go to has a bird park. Maybe if you're some kind of bird fanatic, yeah, I can see going there. But the average person doesn't really care too much about birds. I mean, you'd have to be really bored to want to go and watch birds. This, of course, is my opinion. Comment below if you disagree. KL has a bird park. It also has I think what they call a butterfly park. I mean, if they specifically designed their tourist industry to be uninteresting, those are 2 things I would include, a bird park and a butterfly park. I can't imagine going to either one of those as something to see, as a destination attraction. I mean, it's ridiculous. I'm at the other end of the lake now. I think I've almost completed the circuit of the lake. I'll know in a few minutes, but it seems like I'm heading back towards one of the buildings that I think is the Temple of the Tooth, or the area where the Temple of the Tooth is. Tell me this place wasn't designed to be an attraction. This just draws people, it draws activity, it draws traffic, obviously. But it's a fun place just to come and hang around, even if you can't see the fish. I think if I go left away from the lake, I will end up actually downtown in Kandy. So where I'm walking, it might be the center of town, but it's not really a commercial area. You might be able to see behind me that it looks like the clouds are moving in and it's going to be raining soon. So I think what I'm going to do is hightail it back to my hotel, which according to Google Maps is only 30 minutes from here. That fountain was donated or built by the Coffee Planters Association of Sri Lanka. Now, I had heard a lot about Sri Lanka growing tea. I'm sure you're familiar with Ceylonese tea, but I've never really heard much about coffee grown in Sri Lanka. Although I think, and I'm not sure about this, since both crops grow in the mountains, anywhere you can grow tea, you probably can grow coffee. Don't quote me on that. This is a little bit of International Big Shot Studios look behind the scenes. But I've got a lot of videos on my computer that I haven't edited yet. And I'm running out of disk space. So I'm going to have to up my game and get these things edited and published, or at least uploaded to YouTube, so I can start deleting them. Once a video is uploaded to YouTube, I don't save any of the raw files. I delete everything. That way I don't have to carry around, extra external drives or anything like that. Everything happens on the computer. And once the video is complete and uploaded, it gets deleted from the computer. The other issue that you may not be aware of is that you're seeing this weeks after I recorded it. So I'm going to start putting the dates I've recorded these videos in the video itself so you know. I upload them weeks before they're actually published to stick with my one video a week schedule. So when you see this, I might have recorded it a month or so ago, and there might be 5 or 6 videos still in the hopper that will be periodically released as the weeks go by. But anyway, sometimes it's hard to keep up with where I am and when you see the video. In fact, right now I'm in Kandy. By the time you see this video, I'm sure I won't be, unless I get arrested or something like that. Well, I didn't think it was going to happen, but apparently I am outrunning the rain right now. And I'm still walking by the Temple of the Tooth. And there is some kind of ceremony going on inside. I'm not sure exactly what it is. But there's a lot of people that are outside. But some people are going in, and the people standing outside trying to get me to go in are shocked that I'm not going in today. I am planning on going in tomorrow, however. Well, trying to explain that, or why I want to go tomorrow and not today, is almost trying to explain why I don't want to go to a bird park. It's impossible. Okay, now all I've got to do is find a convenience store and get some water and head back to the hotel. Okay, I'm back where I started. Well, pretty much. And I think I'm just going to be retracing my steps from earlier today. So I'm going to wrap this video up, put a lid on it, and say, be seeing you in the next one.